All right, so Tasha here from Lady Boss Studio. I just want to walk through and show you really quickly. Once you've gone through and done just some of the general settings within WordPress, which obviously we walk you through actually doing that through video, screenshots, all that jazz. We don't expect you to just figure that out all out on your own. Now we're at the point where we get to do sort of like a one-click install for the website templates and what they're going to look like. So right now, if we were to go to the front of this website, it's literally just the basic hello theme. There's nothing there at all. If we can go back very quickly to the back end of WordPress and we go to templates and we go to kit library, and this is where we're going to import the kit we have already created for you to automatically style the website. So if I go to select file, in this case, we're doing the Kate Carter Elementor Template Kit. This is a site that we are building. So we're doing a semi-custom website for somebody, but I wanted to just be able to show you how easy it is to, one, import the kit, but two, how easy it is to actually just within a few clicks, within a few minutes, update all of the brand colors, the brand fonts, and really start to make the template your own really effortlessly. So once I've selected the template kit, which is what you would receive as the download, what you would select here, you go to open. Next up, it'll just confirm if you want to upload these plugins as well. If you're building a new site from us, we go through all of the plugins that are recommended. Anything in this list here will be what we recommend, so you can just leave those selected. Go to next. You don't have to worry about anything here at the moment. You can just go to import. Now you might get a pop-up or two that says, you need to enable unfiltered downloads. If that's not already done with an Elementor, as like a setting that you clicked, you would just hit OK if that pops up. So let me just see here. Perfect. See, this is exactly it. So first, enable unfiltered file uploads, enable. And this usually takes, about a minute and a half. It doesn't usually take much longer than that. So if you are using a hosting provider other than SiteGround, using Bluehost or GoDaddy, every now and then it's going to come up and say it's not going to allow you to upload all of the templates. And that's just because, unfortunately, Bluehost and GoDaddy and a few others don't automatically bump you up to the highest PHP level because they're not going to allow you to use things that you don't necessarily need, and not everybody would need it. So if you were to encounter that, it's simply just asking your host to increase your PHP level, which you can do over their 24-hour online chat, because we're using SiteGround purposely for this site and for all sites that we build specifically. There is no issue. So Elementor Templates that came in, so the 404 error page, 9 pages, a single post, which is your individual blog post, the one archive, which is like the listing of all of your blog posts, the footer and the header, and the site settings. So the colors, the fonts, typography, all of that will be automatically set up based on the template for you. So it's going to start to look exactly the way we sort of tell you it's going to look just by doing this right here. So if I go to close, it's going to bring us right back to the back end of WordPress. And if I go to the front end of WordPress, you can see this is a placeholder because the logo is not there, of course. But once a logo is in there, this would shift over, so it'd be enough room for it. But if I scroll, as you can see, pretty much right off the hop, the entire template is there for every single page. So if I scroll, obviously your Instagram feed isn't populating yet because we haven't connected that yet. But the template is there and looking the way it's supposed to look, right? For every single one of the pages with promise. If I go over and click services, you can see here the services page looks exactly sort of as promised. So now I just want to kind of pop in and show you how quickly we now get to just edit this so it feels the way we want it to feel. It looks the way we want it to look based on our own brand, based on our own fonts, and all that jazz. So I'm going to show that to you now. So here on the homepage, I'm just going to quickly go edit with Elementor. Now this is the website homepage mockup that we've done for the client whose site we're building. So we use the Kate Carter Canva template that comes with the Elementor website templates that you would purchase. So you get this Canva version on purpose, so that way you can go through and actually visually plan what this is all going to look like before you actually end up on the website and you're trying to do it and you're backtracking and you're moving forward and then you're picking up one font here and one font there. This allows you to actually visually see everything that you're going to be putting on your website, every single page, without having to, so you can play around with it and make sure you're happy with it before you move into actual, what's what I'm looking for, like the actually implementation. That's what I'm looking for, before you actually pop into implementation mode. So I'm going to look at the different fonts that we have here that I already know that we've chosen, or she's chosen based on her brand. So we've got this Nanum font is her main font. We've got Poppins as her copy, and then we've got Sacramento as the sort of decorative font that she's using sporadically throughout, just like our template had. So let's go and one, we're going to do her color palette, and then two, we're going to do the font choices. So if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, we've got her color palette here. So we went and changed what came with the Kate Carter to the colors that she likes here, so that it makes it really nice and easy for just pull those color codes and pop them into Elementor. So this is the dark gray color, which would also be obviously her text color. So I'm going to go and copy the color code. I'm going to pop in to Elementor. I'm going to go to the site settings. I'm going to very quickly enter in the colors that I need. So as a rule of thumb, you're always going to want to switch out the dark colors for the dark colors, the light colors for the light colors, just because then you'll have less work to do on the actual template itself. So I'm going to go and switch out the text for that color right there. So it's just kind of almost a very similar dark gray color. If I go back here, I'm going to say, okay, what color did I use for the buttons? It's this color right here. It's this pink color. Perfect. I'm going to copy that, and it's one of the brand font colors here. It's this one. I just want to make sure I was grabbing the right one. And I'm going to go back to Elementor and say, okay, right now the buttons are brown, right, in this template. So I'm going to go and switch that one out for the pink. Automatically, every button on the entire website just switched over to pink. Now, if you don't like the hover with the white, we can change that as well. So I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to go, so I've done these two colors. I'm going to pick this pink color. I'm going to come back to Elementor, and I'm going to do this green color here. At this point, it doesn't matter quite so much because we're going to switch things around, but the button color was really important to just make it really easy on you. And then we'll switch out the rest. So this light color here, I'm going to go and switch that for one of the light colors that I have. And then moving down the line, switch that out. And this last one here, I'm going to go and it's this one, switch this out. And you can click and rename these. So if you have already named the colors that you have in your brand, you could switch these over. Now you'll notice white is here. White's important. We always want to keep white because we just want to make it accessible. We can click on it instead of having to always either type in FFFFFF or go and select it on the color wheel. And we actually technically don't need this color. So I can just delete that color. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it for now. So when I hit update, it's just updating those colors across the entire site. And if I scroll, you can see already this has changed over into her brand colors as opposed to, right, the colors that we had selected. Obviously, we're going to change some of these. But just in that quick moment, that started to make the template based on her branding and what she's doing. So now that we've done the colors, we just pop right over to fonts. Sorry, pop right over to typography. And you can see the colors already populated because it was already there. Now we're just going to go and make sure we're selecting the right font. So I'm going to type in Poppins. I know it's a Google font, so it's there automatically. But now everywhere I have that font, you can just see that just changed. Let me just go back to Montserrat where it was. So you can just see the difference. See how this just changed? So now just by me going and selecting this right here and changing this to Poppins, everywhere there's copy on the entire website, in the entire template section, has just automatically switched over to Poppins. Literally click of a button. I'm going to go over to my H1. These are all just like the title fonts. I'm going to come and type in Nanum. It's this one right here. My face is blocking it. It's H1. So it just changed it here. I'm going to go and do the same thing for H2. It just changed it, as you saw. Now everywhere else that there's an H2 on the whole website, you can just see it switched right over to that font. So I'm going to do the same thing for the H3, because these title fonts you really want to keep the same for brand consistency. And H3, H4, and you're only doing this once. Unless, of course, down the road, you decide to switch your fonts. Then you would come and do this again. But the beauty of this is that it's, again, 3 minutes, and everywhere you have a title font on your whole website has now been changed and edited just like that. So you having to go to each page and change the font, that is wholeheartedly ridiculous, and something I have actually personally done when I first started doing this almost 6 years ago. For H6, we're actually going to use this as our decorative script font. So what's pulling in here that's not really showing up right now, I'm going to go and type in Sacramento, because it's a free Google font. You can see here it showed up quite small, right? Way smaller than we would want. So now we can just play with what we think that default font size should be. And then anytime we pull in that H6, it's going to automatically show up as that size. So it's feeling a little bit big here. So I think I'm going to go down to maybe 45. Feels a bit better. Feels good. Just see where else we have it here. And that feels good there as well. It doesn't feel like it's too overpowering. And then we're good. We just switched the fonts on the whole website. We just switched the colors on the whole website template. So I'm just going to hit update. Just give that a minute. I'm going to go back one, and I'm going to go to the buttons. So now I'm just going to go reselect this just to make sure it's perfect. And then we get to decide what we want as the hover. So right now, as you can see, right, it's hovering to white. Every button on the whole website is going to do the exact same thing. I can go and click hover, and I can change that. Maybe I don't want the white. I just want it to hover to, maybe I don't want it to hover at all. I could just literally reset it, right? There's no hover color, or it still has this here. So it's not actually going to do anything. It's not going to hover to another color. If I wanted the background color to hover to black, right? Then every button on the whole website does it just literally with a touch of a button. Now, it's not pulling in all of the default colors. If I refreshed it, it would show her list of all of her brand colors here. I'd be able to pick another one if I wanted. But for now, I'm going to leave it as that. And just like that, we just change all of the fonts, all of the colors. We change what we want our buttons to do. And then the last step, which we're going to do, is going to kind of make it sort of pull it all together, is go to site identity, and I'm going to pull in the logo. So I'm going to go to select files. I just downloaded this. So I'm going to pull in her logo. And I'm going to go pull in her favicon. So I'm going to upload this, and I'll show you what that's going to do in a quick second. Let me just insert that. Okay, I'm going to move me out of the way. I'm going to hit update. I'm going to go and exit out of the site settings. And I'm just going to refresh the page. I'll just hit update just to make sure, and then refresh. Come on. Okay. Just going to reload Elementor. And ta-da! The logo's there. It's huge right now, so we can bring it down in size. Just like that, the logo is there. And then, as you can notice in the top left-hand side, see it's got that SK as the favicons there now. So we are good to go. And it would be as simple as editing the header, and then obviously making that logo a little bit smaller. I'm not going to take you down the whole path of editing the entire website, but I wanted you to be able to see. Just make this a little bit. Let's bring this in 30. I'll worry about making it super specifically the same size after, but perfect. And perfect. Okay, so I'll worry about making sure this is centered because it's not centered right now, but I'll be moving it over more one way versus the other, so we are centered and looking at those percentages. But just like that, we have our logo, we have all of our brand colors, and now it's just a matter of looking at the actual wireframe template and saying, well, what did I say? What did I type in here as being my hero statement? What was next? What are the services I offer? And literally just copying and pasting right here from Canva if I want. Or I could just be clicking. Let me go back to the page. Clicking and literally just typing in here and editing it, or I could be typing in the widgets panel on the left-hand side. So let me just go to update, and then I just want to preview this so you guys can see. Already within however many minutes that was, what are we at? 15 minutes. And I mean, I did a lot of talking, right? Already within 15 minutes, let me just move me down here. We were able to change up all of the colors, all of the fonts. We added in our logo, we added in our favicon, and all of these changes we made, those just happened on every single page. So all of these fonts, all of the button colors, that all shows up on every page that we have now, right? So the button colors are there, the fonts are all there. That was sort of instantaneous just by us playing around with those site settings. And now we can go edit any of this individually, right? Right from there, and this logo is still way too big. But right from there, we were able to very quickly start to make this our own. And now it really is just, let's edit the copy, right? And let's add in our own images. Or if we want to keep the default images that come along with this, that is no problem. You are allowed to use these stock photos on your website. So I hope that was helpful. We get a lot of questions in terms of like, how easily can I make these my own? Do I have to keep all of the colors the same? Do I have to keep all the fonts the same? What about the images? Can I use my own? The beauty of what we provide as well is that with each one of the website templates, we give you the exact artboard size, like the actual Canva link itself. So you know what you're actually doing in order to replace the default section. So you want to replace this right here. We give you the artboard size that you can play around. You can put one image, you can put two images, you can put three images if you want, but it gives you that size so you're not left guessing. So if I were to download this as a JPEG, and I only want the one page, page one actually, not page two, and I download this, it's already the exact perfect right size to fit into this section. Same thing with these images here, right? All of these image sizes, you're not left guessing. What you would end up doing is, again, we give you the links for this, but it's the right website image size. So when I open this, you've got, right, the actual stock photos that come with it. If you want to use one in one place versus where I've used it. Or it also gives you the opportunity, if you wanted to duplicate this, delete what came as the stock photo and either use your own photos or use other photos from Canva that better represent your brand, your niche, your ideal client. And then you just download them, but they're already the right size. You know you're not going to be left with a disaster of this image is this size and this image is that size and things not looking the way sort of you were hoping or they were sort of promised to look based on you looking at the template originally. So if I scroll up to the top and I go and I click that column and I just go and upload that image, I'm not going to worry about the size of it or SEO or any of that right now. But I'm literally just going to click on that image and I'm going to insert it, right? I got to move this over because we're doing a semi-custom website for her. So we actually have the it in the middle as opposed to off to the side. But I can very easily add the white to this. And I've just added in the image that I wanted that was the perfect right size. Now I'm going to go move this over myself so it's in the middle and it's not off to the side and I can add some padding and all that jazz. But I already knew that that image was going to be the right size and look the way I wanted it to just based on what this Canva template looked like and having it be the right size. So I hope that is helpful. It didn't keep you too long, but we just get so many questions asked on this that I wanted to really make a video to show how easy it really is to work with our templates and also why we feel our templates are the best in terms of what you're doing right now, getting set up and launched ASAP, but also down the road, things evolve, things change, and when your brand fonts do change or your brand colors do change or images need to change, you're not left with a giant disaster of needing to edit every single page and every single section on your whole website. It really can be done in just a few clicks within the actual Elementor site settings. So I hope you have a lovely day. If you have questions, go ahead and post them below this video or email us anytime at hello@ladybossstudio.com. Thank you.